Today I'm going to show you how to create this card using products from Kat Scrappiness. I have stitched dolphins, stitched cloud, but I'm not going to use the cloud border this time. We have the Christmas in a bottle shaker. What else do we have here? Stitched waves, and also the Crafter's Essentials winter. That's how I got the bottom of the beach here, or the beach sand, the hills going there. And then the scene builder stencil, and I think I'm going to use another one called Love is in the Air, but I'm not sure about that one yet. So we're going to recreate this card, and we're going to start with, I'll show you some of the products that I use. Here's the Christmas in a bottle, and it comes with the full bottle piece and then the shaker piece, and some pine trees, a little ground that you can put in the bottle, maybe a snowbank, and a deer silhouette. Let's see, here are the stitched dolphins, and it comes with 3. We're going to use the 2 smaller of the 2s because the larger one wouldn't fit in my scene. These are the stitched wave borders, and you have the 2 different kinds. This is the full wave, and this is just the little ripples, but they're both stitched. And then I also used, I'll show you on one of the waves, I used the tuck in, and what these have is like a hilly ground border, and it has these little stitched, they cut little slits in the paper so you can tuck stuff in, and we're going to tuck a dolphin's tail into one of the waves. So we have that, and I really wanted to show you this. This one, I think most of these dies are on sale, on the clearance sale that's going on. Here is the Crafter's Essentials Christmas, and it has the 3 pine trees, the 2 hilly ground borders, and I believe these are 5.5 inches across, so you can do an A2 landscape or a A2 portrait style, but they also work on the slimline cards that I'm creating. The other thing that comes with the Crafter's Essentials Winter is this background die, and it has so much stitched detail on it. The stitched swirly wind and the snowflakes, and then the little cutouts will emboss snowflakes into your background, and little sparkles and snowfall, and super awesome. I think this is on sale for like $19.99. It's a great deal. So let's set all of that aside, and we are going to get started. I think we'll start with the bottle, because that's the only Copic coloring I'm going to do. We're just going to do some, let me reference I'm just going to do some shading with this is a BG13. Do some shading on the edges here, the edge of the lid, and then on the inside portion of the shaker part. I'm not making a shaker card today, but you could also make a shaker with this. I'm just going to make a bottle with a message in it. That's where our sentiment will go. Just outlining the inside with the darkest color. Then we're going to use, let's see, BG11. I'm going to blend this out a lot because there's a large gap between the 11 and the 13 that I just used. Just blending. And the next color I'm going to use is BG10. That one will also help blend out this BG13 that's so dark. That will be the very outside of the bottle. And, oh, I forgot to cut the cork. I'll have to do that again. The bottle also comes with a little cork. Did I show you that set? Yeah, I think I did. Can't remember. My memory is very short. Comes with growing old. And I'll speed this up for you so you don't have to watch me blend. Should probably bring this in more. There we go. I'll be right back. I have to cut the cork out. Okay, so we're just going to add some detail on the cork with the E20s family, starting with the E29. I'm just going to do some random dots, mostly around the edge. That corner, and then E27. Do a few in between. And then I'm going to go over them with E25, kind of blend them out a little bit. Just dotting on top of the dots that I've already got there. There we go. And then with the E23, I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow on the side. I think we'll do the other side too. And I guess the top too. And then I wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to bring in the E21, blend that out a little bit more. Maybe give it a few little lighter dots in the middle. There we go. There's our quart. Set that aside. Well, I guess we can, what do we do next? We will do some blending. I'm going to bring in my stencil mat and some sandcastle ink and a blending brush, and we're just going to blend up these edges and tap that off in the lid. Just darken up those edges, make that stitch detail kind of pop. No need to do the edges because I'm going to be trimming those off, so I'll add a little bit more ink after I trim those off on the card. The ink really makes those stitches stand out. Spin that around. I really love the way this looks. And what I'll also do, but I will not do on camera, is I'm going to add some splatters with the darker ink, the s'mores ink, and some Copic opaque white ink to give it some sand-like detail. And I'll use some dark blue ink on the waves. And what I do is I'll just smush some onto an acrylic block. And let's see, do we have these right side up? And use a fan brush, and I don't have a fan brush with me right now. But basically what I do is I'll take the ink and smush them on the lid, take a wet brush, and then flick it off, the ink off onto the paper. And what the reason I don't do it on camera is some of the flicks can fly up, and I don't want ink on my camera lens, so I won't be doing that. Okay, next we have stone blue ink and blue blending brush. That's a mouthful. Okay, bring this over here so I can tap some of that ink on the lid, and then just pull into those waves. And this is just some really inexpensive 65-pound paper from Michael's. I think it's called Recollections, but I'm not 100%. And I think the hack that I got this is called Beach something or other. Sorry, I'll check that and make sure that I have a link in the description box below for the products that I use. It seems a bit darker on my last one. I'm not sure if I just inked it up heavier or I used a different color. Get some on the edges because these I've already trimmed down to the size of my card. And the size of the slimline cards that I make are 4 inches by 8.5 inches. They fit nicely in a number 10 envelope. So I'm just going to speed this up for you while I finish inking the rest of these panels. Give you a little music to listen to. See, that really makes those waves pop, the stitching in the waves. Okay, I'll clean this up. And bring out our dolphins. And let me put this brush away, gray brush. And for this we're using Twilight ink. And what we'll mostly do is just ink around the bottom portion, because that's where the shadow would be, and a little bit under their fin. So, coming up from the bottom, pushing that ink kind of in a swirly motion. There we go. And it's a little bit splotchy, but these inks are very good to kind of smooth out after they dry, or while they're drying they smooth out. Just put my brush at an angle, try not to use the entire brush. Get some of that ink. In this I'm using some gray cardstock from Spellbinders. I think it's called Fog. And if I didn't mention before, the Sandy Beach, that cardstock is called Nina Desert Storm, and it's 80 pound, and it's my favorite craft cardstock. I think that's all of the inking. Nope, that's not all of the inking. I still have to do the background. Let's see, where are you at? Where's my stencil? Where's my stencil? So this stencil is called Scene Builder, and what you do with this stencil is you poke your cardstock underneath or into the different borders, and then it gives you different designs. There's clouds, there's hills, just plain rolling hills. I'll poke it through each one so you can see. And then there's a grassy border here too. I can poke through there. There we go. So you just poke it through, and that's where you'd stencil along the area. So we're going to use the clouds from this Scene Builder stencil, and I'm going to start right about there. And I think I need some Post-it tape to protect the other areas from getting ink on them. And put that brush away. And we're going to use some cumberbund ink. My brush. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing cloudy borders or cloudy stenciling is I only, on the top part, I'll do the entire area. But on the layers, the second and third layers, I should say, I will only do the area right around the border of the cloud, like I'm doing right now. I just keep that ink really close so that the rest of the area is much lighter. But on the top portion, I will blend the entire panel, or the entire area that's poking out. This is a really light ink, so I can go directly from the ink pad to the paper, and it won't be very splotchy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle it a little bit and move it to the opposite side so we get a different cloud configuration. What I do is I just pounce the ink on the stencil and then pull the ink right to the edge, just outlining that cloudy border. And then I don't want it too stark white, so I'm going to just take the remaining ink that's on my brush and go over the entire cloud. Okay. Now I can either, I think what we'll do, let me wipe this off, push this back to where it was, and then I'll just push that ink off the stencil so it's nice and clean. And then we'll take our Post-it note off, or our Post-it paper, and this time I'm going to do the second layer, or the second border, and I'm going to angle it the opposite direction, just to give it a little bit of interest, and we'll cover this hill so we don't end up with any ink poking through there. Then I'll just tap, 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 and then pull that ink off of the stencil. I think I want it a little bit darker. There we go. And then come around on the edges, give us a little bit of an edge, darker edge, and then just go over the entire cloud. Wipe that off, and move it to the opposite corner, or the opposite edge. There we go. Wipe that off. I think we're going to do one more, just to make sure those waves come all the way up to the edge. We'll do it in the middle. In the middle-ish. There we go. Yeah, it's taking me 2 brushes full of ink to get it dark enough to where I'm happy with it. That looks good. I'm happy with that. And then down here we'll give it a little bit of, just to make those not so stark white, so if they poke out from behind the waves, because I didn't measure, I'm just eyeballing it where approximately the area the beach and the waves will come up to. Okay, so we're done with that stencil. Now I'm going to bring in a stencil called Love is in the Air. Can you see that? Yep, Love is in the Air, and this has a bunch of hearts. I learned this from a video from Nicole Spohr. She uses a different stencil, but I really like the look she gets when she does this. She just does some random blending of some hearts as if they're falling from the sky, and it looks so cute. So I'm going to take that, steal her technique. I'm just picking these little clusters of 3 hearts together and just ink blending those. I suppose I should go back around the opposite direction. You really want to make sure you spin in both clockwise and counterclockwise when you're blending tiny areas like this so that you get the full image. This is one of my favorite stencils. I love the way these hearts look. Nice, cute little chubby hearts. Let's take a look. See if I'm happy with that. It doesn't look so random, but that's okay. That'll work. Let me wipe the stencil off while it's down. Okay, I'm going to clean this up and I'll be right back. Now that I'm all cleaned up, I'm going to start gluing everything down. I'm going to glue the cork to the top of the bottle. And I use liquid glue for everything. I rarely use tape runner, but I don't want to make myself a liar, so I'm not going to say never. So also I've cut the full bottle I cut from acetate, so I'm going to put that. Oh, and I also stacked up 3 layers with extra thick cardstock. I think it's called Accent Opaque White. I cut 3 of the bottle outline with that, and I'm going to glue my acetate to this, and then we'll glue the piece with the Copic coloring on top of all of that. And I'll let that set for a minute. So I'm just going to try to line this up so I don't have to wiggle it around too much. Get that liquid glue on there. Then I'll take my bottle piece and I'm going to hold it with the tweezer so I don't get my fingers in the glue. And if you haven't used this Misty glue press, I would highly recommend it. You can leave it setting in its stand where the tip of it is on the little silicone patch for days and it doesn't dry up. You can grab it after having it set let me give you a better look at this. So here this is the stand, and it has a little spot for the cap of your glue, but inside there, let's see, can you see where my finger is? There's a little silicone patch, and that's where the tip of the glue rests there, and it creates a seal so it prevents the glue from drying up. So you can keep it in its stand, grab it, and it won't clog, most of the time it won't clog up while you're using it, while you're completing a whole project with it. It's a game changer, absolute game changer. I hope Kat Scrappiness brings those into her shop to go with the rest of her awesome products. Okay, so I think we should start with our waves and our dolphins because that's going to determine the height of our waves. So we'll have dolphin high in the air. We're going to bring the waves up there, here. I'm just showing you my process because I don't like to measure. I like to, I don't know, I guess fly by the seat of my pants. I think we're going to put, did I do that backwards? No, that's right. We'll do this one down here. I want poking out of the water there. Unfortunately, it covers up a lot of the wave. There we go. Bring it down that far. Let's see how far our ground comes up. Yeah, we need another wave. That's what I thought. So I'm going to grab a pencil, give myself an idea where that top wave is going to cover that pencil mark there. Cover that pencil mark. Oh, it didn't make a mark. Helps if I have the lead poking out. There we go. This side make a mark? A little bit. Okay, there we go. So let's start with the first wave, and I'm going to use my tweezers again. The only thing that you do have to do is, I usually keep a towel nearby, so after I glue, if I have a little bit of residue on the point, I'll wipe it off. That prevents it from clogging. Well, fast forward you through all of the gluing. Pencil marks. There. Looks good. Oh, and while I was off camera, I also did the splatters that I explained previously with and if I used the Cove blue and the s'mores color, and this is the opaque white Copic ink made by the same people that make the Copic markers, and it's the opaque white ink. There's another product that is not the same. It is not opaque, and the opaque is what you want to get the nice bright white splatters. But I will make sure I have that in the description box below the video. Oh, I don't remember where this one's supposed to go. Get my dolphin in there so I can... Come on, dolphin, go in there. See, even us card makers on YouTube have to fuss sometimes. There we go. Now try this again. I wanted to make sure that I saw my waves. There we go. Oops, I need to scoot you over some. Come back up. There we go. And just flip this around. Squeeze some glue down beneath my dolphin. There we go. I don't know if I want to show him jumping up, coming down. I think we'll show him coming down. Should we show him flipping around? I think that looks good right about in the center. Cover up some of those hearts, make it look a little more random. Oh, I forgot to consider my bottle when, because I want to show part of the dolphin through the bottle. That'll work. It's a good height. Okay. Then our next layer of waves right about there, I think. Looking good so far. And then we'll take our large hills. I came a little bit off of the corner of the paper, so I'm going to try to bring this over the edge so that I have a complete straight line on the border on the bottom. There we go, just line that up with the bottom. I don't want my card sticking to the table. I'm just wiping off the glue. The excess glue, we'll trim those off. Oh, you know what I forgot to do was the ground for inside the bottle. Huh, I'm going to have to die cut another piece. A little fuzz. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to do a little ground piece for inside the bottle. So I did the ground piece and I ink blended it off camera. I wanted to show you the message that I'm putting in the bottle. It's going to say, enjoy your special day. Or it does say, enjoy your special day. This is from the Simple Sentiments stamp and die set. And I'll read you these very common sentiments that are a staple for any craft card maker's stash. Just stopping by to say, best wishes, happy belated birthday, I miss you, enjoy your special day, congrats, thinking of you, you are amazing, hello friend, rainbow wishes, just because, I am grateful for you, birthday wishes, best day ever, sending my love, just a note to say, you make me smile, sending hugs, sending you sunshine, dream big, with heartfelt sympathy, celebrate, thank you, and happy birthday. So this is one stamp, and it has little crosses in the corners so that the die, a single die, will cut out all of I have it upside down, all of the sentiments at once. And what I do is I just keep them in a little plastic baggie with my set, and anytime I need a quick sentiment, it's right there for me. Super awesome staple to have for any card maker. Okay, so in order to get this bottle down where I want, since I'm not making this an actual shaker card, I do have the acetate in there, but I want to kind of guesstimate where I'm going to drop that sand at on the bottom, so I'm just going to keep it in there while I put the little bit of glue on here. And then I'm going to kind of hover that to where I want it. Oops, skip it. The ground is sticking in the wrong place. That looks good. And it's okay that they hang off the edges. The number 10 envelope will accommodate a card larger than 4 inches wide. So I like to, it's just a little thing I like to do is have things hanging off of the edge of the card so they're not just always rectangular. I'm going to take some of the ink off of my brush here and just dull down this sentiment strip so it's not so stark white. I mean, it is in a bottle in sand. It probably wouldn't be super white. One would think. And then we're going to tuck that into our sand in the bottle. Put some glue, a little bit more. Just kind of tuck it down there. And we're in the home stretch. Now just going to put some adhesive on the back of this bottle. Hover it over my sand there, slide it into place because that sand fits right into the curve of the bottle. Hold that down for a second, and then all we have left is to clip off the bottom of the ooh, this is going to be tricky. Huh. I may have to bring out my craft knife for this one. I should have clipped off the sand before I put my bottle down. I should do it this way. I'm just doing it gently because I don't want to cut through that bottle. Am I still on screen? Nope. Oops, got the card. I should probably use it as it's intended. There we go. And since I have this already out, I might as well do the same on this side. Just going up against the side of the card. Get other. There we go. I think I need something else. I think I'm going to dig into my embellishments. I'll be right back. So I'm going to add some sparkle with the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen. Let me get a piece of scratch paper to test this out, make sure it's not too... We'll go over just the tips of the waves. Give it a little bit of shine. Let's see. And the ink that I used is water reactive, so it's coming off on the tip of the pen, so I have to make sure to clean that off before I put it away. I think we'll put a little bit under the dolphin here. Under this dolphin also. Just on the underside. And yeah, that'll do it. Clean off the tip on my scratch paper. Make sure there's no more blue on there. Okay, and next I have these mini ornate jewels from Kat Scrappiness. And these are super sparkly, so I thought it would be cute if I did, like one of the dolphins was going for a little sparkly ball. Put another one in the corner there. I feel like it's kind of naked up there. One down here by this guy, another in the water down here, and we need one more. That'll work. Okay. Use my glue press. It's hard to do it left-handed. Pick up the jewels with a jewel picker. There we go. Dot. 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 And dot. So there she is, my completed card. I hope you like my presentation today, and don't forget to stop by the Kat Scrappiness store. She is having the up to 65% off retirement sale, and you can get a lot of the products I used today for a great price. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.